He is your Synergy Professional Wrestling Champion. Over your own destiny here in Synergy Professional Wrestling.
You've reached the top of the mountain as you should. You should be able to call some of the shots, right?
He certainly seems to think so. All right, let's get our introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening, and it is for the Synergy Pro Wrestling Championship. Introducing first the challenger, hailing from the sweetest place on earth, weighing in at 165 pounds, Tony Deppen. And his opponent, hailing from Newbridge, New Jersey, weighing 210 pounds, he's known as the Rogue. He is the Synergy Pro Wrestling Champion, Brandon Kirk.
Now, MC Hell, it's easy to discredit, dismiss the accomplishments of the Rogue Brandon Kirk, but I've known this guy for quite some time. I saw him coming up. Now, I was, only a few business. He was a young kid trying to find who he was, and what he has become is impressive. I'm proud of him, the competitor he has become. Whether you agree with his attitude, some of the things that he does in the ring, he is getting it done, and now is his time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't discount the accomplishments. You're 100% correct. I mean, his last 3 victories here in Synergy are against Homicide, Eric Corvus, and Frightmare, obviously, at Heat Seekers. But let's stick with the nerd theme. We had the Nerd World Order before. In nerd terms, Brandon Kirk is chaotic evil. He does messed up stuff just for fun because he can. I mean, he brained Scotty Cerriti, who was just trying to interview him, who Brandon Kirk actually called into the ring specifically so he could hit him in the head with a kendo stick. He's held up Colin West for contract. He's been suspended. He's been fired. He's been rehired by you, as a matter of fact, and finally took the belt from Frightmare. So, I mean, he's got all the talent in the world, but that's what makes him so frustrating is he doesn't use it. He'd rather take the low road. Right.
Well, rehired by me, obviously a super intelligent decision, as is evident by that championship belt around the waist of Brandon Kirk. But I said it in the beginning of the broadcast tonight, live on Fight, that this match was the battle of the bad attitudes. Now, a lot of the things that you just said about Brandon Kirk, you could say about Tony Deppen. He is a lovable jerk. He has a poor attitude. He represents that guy that walks around life, for the lack of a better phrase, not giving a single shit, right? Tony Deppen.
That's our one for the broadcast, by the way.
Oh, we used it on shit?
Yeah, well, now 2.
Oh, 2. Oh,
shit.
We're going to have to pay for that.
Oh, sorry.
3. Fun vaudevillian bits aside, Tony Deppen is a similar type of competitor, and these 2 guys are almost foils to each other. You have 2 guys that just don't care, and they're going to use that attitude to beat the ever-living hell out of each other. And we have a hell of a matchup ahead of ourselves for this Synergy Wrestling Championship as these 2 guys reach a stalemate.
I mean, I said it at the top of the broadcast. Deppen will do what it takes to get over. Brandon Kirk will do what it takes to get over. But, I mean, we've seen Deppen use a low blow to defeat Oliver for the Garden State Invitational Championship. We saw Brandon Kirk put Ryan T through a door. We saw him break out thumbtacks against Frightmare. I mean, is Deppen going to be willing to do what it takes to take out the Rogue? Is he willing to go that low?
Now, granted, Deppen not a guy known to bust out the hardware like light tubes, like thumbtacks, like a Zamboni, a child's play school, yellow little go-kart gimmick. But all that aside, Tony Deppen, I've seen him take plenty of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Seen him take plenty of hard shots to the head, to the jaw, maneuvers on the outside of the ring, chair shots to the head. Tony Deppen, I apologize, getting caught up in the action here. Tony Deppen almost doesn't know what's good for his own well-being. He will keep going. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, but that is his strength.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Tony Deppen. As you said, an accomplished wrestler. He's 4-1 here in Synergy, including 3 victories in one night at the Garden State Invitational. His only loss so far was in a championship match to Frightmare. So he even has championship match experience here in Synergy. Looks like these two are just get a bit of a stare down here. Brandon Kirk is offering his hand, and I see absolutely nothing going wrong with this.
These two guys trying to figure out each other's schemes, if you will.
Oh, that is not COVID friendly.
Oddly enough, a hallmark of the Tony Deppen portfolio. He eats his own snot rocket, as Brandon Kirk.
Yeah, normally you call that pie face, but that's some little extra filling in that pie. Kirk and Deppen exchanging psychological warfare.
And again, the battle, the bad attitudes, both guys just kind of, being actual jerks to each other.
Yeah, you called it, Nick Kay. Blow for blow, stomp for stomp, eye poke for eye poke. Oh, that's 4.
Not every show where you have an argument over who's supposed to be the guy doing mean guy stuff.
Right.
And I guess they reached an agreement to go in and fight.
Well, they're going to fight at ringside, it looks like, and Brandon Kirk dropping Deppen onto the apron there.
Deppen dropped at a high angle there. A lot of that pressure going to the upper back, the neck area of Deppen. Not something you want to take in the opening, moments of a championship opportunity.
And let's mention the champion's advantage here. Brandon Kirk doesn't need to get into the ring to win this match. He can stay outside, deliver punishment to Deppen, and take that double count out and walk out of here with that Synergy Championship belt still around his waist.
He said it earlier today during the Cruiserweight Crown matchup. That is the champion advantage. Some, might not want to be known as one that would retain their championship under such context. Brandon Kirk?
Yeah, not so much. I don't think he cares.
And I would not blame him.
Rather arrogant cover by Deppen, and Brandon Kirk just punches his leg off. Chin lock by Deppen. Probably trying to regain a little bit of energy that he lost on the outside of the ring there when he got dropped onto his back on the apron.
Not a bad game plan to regroup, take a moment to grind down, try to work on the a weak part of the body of Brandon Kirk.
I mean, how do you prepare for Brandon Kirk? Like, this is, as we've said numerous times, willing to do just about anything that you can think of, and probably a whole lot that you can't think of. How do you prepare to match up against someone like that?
He's a chaotic individual. You have to just, I'm perfectly aware it's a cliche phrase, but you have to expect the unexpected with someone in the realm of Brandon Kirk.
I mean, you've had matches against Brandon Kirk, Nick, eh?
I absolutely have.
How did you prepare for something like that, where you just don't know what's coming?
I started the matchup by looking under the ring, making sure that there was no hardware, but yet, sure, he pulled it out from somewhere. You know, I ended up still getting a kendo stick across the back. Brandon Kirk will somehow always find a way. He will always find a way to do the things that Brandon Kirk does. Where there is a will, there is a way. And if there is not hardware underneath the ring, if there isn't a table or a chair or a kendo stick laying around, he will use something else. He will figure it out. But he is smarter than you will give him credit for.
Once again, the frustrating thing about Brandon Kirk is the level of ability he has, and still willing to, as you said, go under the ring, pull something out of somewhere.
And also the ability for him to take punishment, to take pain, to accept it. Brandon Kirk has been through glass, has been through barbed wire, has seen the worst of the worst. The DDT, the punch to your face, he's seen far worse than that. He's gone through multiple pains.
And I got to point out, I just saw Colin West stalking around here by our commentary position. Do we think our Synergy owner and promoter Colin West is going to stick to his word and stay out of this match?
Don't worry. Before the show, I took the box of spare ref shirts and I hid them in my car. So we are good on that
Thinking
front.
ahead, that is why you are the professional wrestler, Nick. 2 count for Deppen. The Rogue kicks out. This Synergy Professional Wrestling Championship match will continue. Don't forget, folks, let us know what you think about Synergy's 3rd birthday. Social media at Synergy Wrestle, and use the hashtag Synergy and the number 3.
Absolutely. Whether you're watching live or in the future on demand on Fight Network, we want to hear what you have to say. And thank you all for joining us here live on Fight for the 3rd anniversary, Synergy Wrestling's 3rd birthday.
I got to say, I'm seeing a whole lot of love for the Doomsday device on Twitter right now.
As it deserves. Great moment. Great celebration of the life of John Laurinaitis, animal that we lost earlier this week.
And while we're shouting out the good guys, let's all shout out Ref Ryan T for putting together the Go Gold for the Valerie Fund. All the toys you saw at the beginning of this event.
Something very to be, something for Ryan T to be very proud of. What he's done for the Valerie Fund and Synergy Professional Wrestling. As he almost counts a 3. Potentially new champion, Tony Deppen.
That knee to the jaw by Deppen was just brutal. Interrupted my promo. Not too many things can make me stop talking. Deppen with some unusual taunting.
Just mocking that schoolyard bully attitude of Tony Deppen.
It looks like fighting dueling suplexes here. Finally, well, the Rogue was able to spin out of it and catch a forearm to the face for his effort, and then dealt one back to Deppen, and once again matching up, mirror images of each other. 2 lariats being dealt simultaneously twice over. Looks like Kirk just fell on top of Deppen. Deppen and Kirk nearly knocked each other unconscious, and Brandon Kirk just fell on top. Almost won the...
Well, that would be unfortunate for Deppen, convenient for Kirk, but a win is a win. You have to be aware of the body positioning at all times. Don't get into a strike contest if your opponent's weight is going to fall onto you and you can't kick out.
Dueling chants here at the Monster Factory. Let's go Brandon, let's go Deppen.
Pretty much equally 50-50.
Even their names are similar.
Either way, you're cheering for a jerk.
Looks like Deppen just hurt his hand, punching the Rogue in the face.
Kirk opting to open up that hand, as does Deppen with one of his own.
Again, these two matching up, exchanging blows. What do we got next? We got a forearm from Brandon Kirk and one from Deppen. Yep, there it is. And now they've just resorted to slapping each other.
And this really is starting to resemble a sort of schoolyard fight.
Well, schoolboy, 1, 2. Deppen trying to escape with that victory. Oh,
Keeping with the theme, I like it as Deppen gets turned almost inside out. Ripcord lariat there from Kirk. Is it enough for a 3? And it is. Brandon Kirk retains the Synergy Professional Wrestling Championship. A hard-fought effort from Tony Deppen.
all right, the Still Your Champion chant ring
Winner
out.
of this contest and still Synergy Pro Wrestling Champion, Brandon Kirk.